Whenever I talk about the saying of T.S. Eliot's, good writers borrow, great writers steal, I worry that you will think I'm saying, hey, plagiarism is cool, you should go do that. Don't. Please don't. Plagiarism is wrong, and it will end a writer's career. So if T.S. Eliot wasn't urging us all to become criminals, what did he mean? Okay, so I recorded this with, I thought I had a plan in mind, but it turns out the plan, not so much a plan after all. So I was going to sort of read my blog post, but I decided not to do that. Instead, I decided to talk about my blog post. So I'm going to show you the blog post here, and then I'll leave a link to it in the description. So you can go and see that and read it if you would like to. But that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I don't think you need to have read the blog post to understand what I'm talking about, but it would probably help. But in any case, thank you for your patience while I learn to work in this new medium. In my blog post, I write about two things. First, the universal and the particular. In the end, we all write about the same things. Love, jealousy, betrayal, and so on. These are universal emotions. We all know what loneliness feels like. The trick is to present that experience to readers in a new way. And you can do that because you're unlike anyone else in the history of the universe. When you filter a universal through your unique lens, through your experiences, when you write about what it's like to be you, these universal ideas are expressed in a way they never were before. It is your experience with these universal themes that makes a story new and gripping. Let me expand on that. How many murder mystery stories are told each year? How many romances? I don't know, but in the millions? But people keep coming back for more. Why? Because each person, each writer is unique. We've all had different experiences. We all have a different view of the world, and that allows us to express the universal themes we all feel in our bones in vastly different ways. And you, as a reader, want to see something familiar from a different perspective. You know, the same but different. The trick to doing that is to make these general themes particular by drawing on our own experiences. We do that by embedding some of our own experiences within a particular fictional life. Second, try to write exactly like your favorite author. And of course, I'm suggesting this as a writing exercise, one that is never released into the world. Try to write exactly like your favorite author, and it might be more difficult than you think. Read a few paragraphs from one of your favorite books, 2 to 5 paragraphs, and then close the book and set a timer for 15 minutes, or however much time you can spare. Now try to recreate what you read as closely as possible. Keep the events the same and get as close to the author's voice as you can. Write as much as you can in 15 minutes, or if you have, the time, keep going. Now read the text from your favorite book again. How close to it did you get? What did you get mostly right? What did you get mostly wrong? I did this with the first 5 paragraphs of the second chapter of Stephen King's It. I found that Stephen King worked action and conflict into the first paragraph in a way I didn't appreciate enough when I first read them. Stephen King, in the very first sentence, gives us a tiny bit of information about Bill, the bare bones. We learn his cheeks are flushed because he has a fever, and we learn that Bill just finished a boat. That's it. We know from the previous chapter that the boat was made out of newspaper. So he doesn't repeat that. Instead, right away, we get action appropriate to the characters. 2 young boys. The younger brother tries to take the boat from Bill. Even though Bill is making the boat for his brother, he holds it out of George's reach. No, it's not ready. See, conflict. That's great. Now a goal is introduced. The boat looks finished, but it isn't. The bottom needs to be coated with paraffin. So George has to face something he fears, the cellar, to get something he wants, a boat he can take outside and play with. So our goal, George's goal, has been set up. Now we get description. King tells us what he hears. His mother's playing piano, and we are told which songs he likes and dislikes as well as why. the rain flicking steadily across the kitchen windows. Then King contrasts these comfortable sounds with George's uncomfortable thoughts of the cellar. Specifically, he always imagined there was something down there in the dark. And we are also told how important Bill is to George. It is such a good story and so well written. One day I'll talk about the opening of the dome. Anyway, back to talking about T.S. Eliot's thoughts on literary theft. In my article, I talk more about the universal and the particular, and I've put the text of it up here so you can read it if you like, but there is also a link to it below. What I want to emphasize is how important it has been for me to study the work of authors who I admire because of the story world they have opened up for me. Of course, you don't want to write exactly like anyone else. Each writer has their own style, but you can pick their paragraphs apart and try to see how their words achieved a certain effect, how that was accomplished. Okay, almost done. I completed one of the writing exercises I talked about in my article. I felt a little silly that morning, so that's what came out. I didn't want to include it in the article, so I placed it as a comment. Thought it might help illustrate the idea I was trying to express. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Any and all feedback is welcome. I've just started making them, and if any of you have any advice for how I could improve them, please let me know. If you got something from this video, then please like and subscribe. If you think someone would be interested in this content, please share. Thanks for watching, and good writing.